All right, a little bit more progress. Got the ignition harness on. It's the best because it's blue. But shout out to Maggie Ignition Harness. I got a coaster, a beanie, some stickers, magnets. Doesn't look half bad. All that contrast. Little update, little daytime shot of the ignition harness. But the shop's destroyed, but the prep for the paint is done. Waiting on 5 more pieces. Should be here within the next week, and all that stuff back there can be painted. And this cowling, I swear, don't ever do that. Oh, I got 2 more rivets, but I'm waiting on one part to be here tomorrow. Got it all feathered out, all the filler, speed spats. I got so much to paint. But after that's all shot, got a certain white on the inside, a different white on the outside. So it's gonna be 2 days of just painting the cowling. Then I gotta paint the red, gotta paint the blue. And next, finishing these gear wells. Just to put it in perspective of how many parts I gotta paint, I just counted 86. Look at all that crap. All the little pieces. It's gonna suck. If there's anybody been following the project and wants to send some good vibes, be great, because I'm stripping the gear wells, and it's not fun having to power wash it in the hangar while it's on jacks, letting all that acid water hit me. We're all suited up. Got my cow sphincter gloves on. This crap sucks. I'm officially going absolutely insane. And the hangar is absolutely destroyed. This wing got a little corrosion. Gonna have to hit it a little bit more. Let me see. But this wing over here, this thing's looking good. That one's pretty much almost ready for paint. Still a little more stripping to do on this right wing. I've always hated this wing. This is a 3rd right wing on this airplane, and you can tell this one's had some rash. It was laying on the ground probably somewhere. It's got a bunch of dents and dings in it, but this is what happens when you don't route your brake lines correctly. It will rip the wing. So the repair they had was pretty crappy, so I'm going to end up doing a new one. Probably put a doubler plate, because you can see right here, all this aluminum is all bent. That's all broke out. Had another bracket right here that was all bent, drilled that out. This rib has seen better days. You can see it's all cracked and bent, so I'm gonna have to stretch a piece of metal, make that. It's always something, but my pride and joy, this one's beautiful. Working on the last little bit of machine or metal work. These shrouds are all bent. Bought some new ones, and you can see how they're all cracked out. But the new ones didn't have reinforcement plates, so got the new ones in there, built the reinforcement plate, especially right there, it cracks out. That one's done, and that one's done. A lot of work, ready for paint though. Last little bit of prep, acid washing all the aluminum. If the water sheets, it's good to go. We're gonna allodyne it next, but I still got the top cowling. All the little bitty parts, gonna mask them tonight, shoot tomorrow, but shoo, that thing looks fast. Look cool just sitting there. A little before. You can see how dull this aluminum is. It's gonna shine right up. Nobody at the EPA or the airport manager, but phew, allodyne cow. If I had a vat, I'd soak it, but if it starts to dry or have too much air, it starts to streak, but for the most part, it's pretty. Acid, water, allodyne, water, done. I hate my life right now. Primer's laid down. Took about an hour and 20 to shoot that. I got 2 layers of top coat to go. Should be finished 5 o'clock in the morning. That was hard. Oh my goodness, were there some angles. But I don't know, this stuff kind of makes me look like a painter. All right, from start to finish, when I woke up this morning, we're 20 hours in. I am tired. Damn, got that sheen on her. So many parts, I swear, it's never gonna end. So we're gonna flip the cowling over, paint the opposite side in a few days, then mark the stripes, and paint that. But the landing gear can go back together once the gear wells are painted. It's always something. Always something. But I don't know, another month, might have it done. Comanche update. Everything got painted. It looks so damn good that we're stripping it off because it didn't cure right. There's something wrong with the top coat. It reacted with the base. And yeah, it's got pinholes all over it. I'll show you some like close-up pictures, but no bueno. Strip it all down and do it again. No bueno. All that work down the drains. All right, about 24, 36 hours later, everything was stripped, blasted, alodined, and masked, and hung, and primed. The light, I was having problems with orange peel. And besides a little bit of trash, that stuff is smooth. Stuff laid down so good. So, we'll wait 36 hours. And hopefully it doesn't do what it did, but didn't add MEK this time. Humidity's pretty low today. But hopefully we're back caught up where we were 7 days ago. Not gonna lie, mixed a little too much. Kind of hurts my heart, but there's like $100. Out of everything I painted, the one run is on the front of the nose gear door, facing the entire world as you walk up to the plane. So if you see me out there flying and you've been following along, give me a shout out and remind. Update. Got all the parts, pulled all the tape, and guess what? It did it again. I think it's just on the parts that like I was trying to get in these nooks and crannies, so it's where I built it up really high. So I don't know if it just didn't cure enough, but the parts that, you know, I didn't have to hit hot and heavy, they came out pretty good this time. It was just the parts that, you know, trying to get in that little void. You can see it's got a few bubbles on it. So contacted the guys I bought it from, and they're gonna forward my problem to Sherman-Williams and get back to me with what I'm doing wrong. But I'm kind of dumbfounded. Sucks, but I just think those two parts are what I'm gonna redo. Everything else is pretty good. Oh man, it's been a minute since I did a Comanche update. Didn't want to post much. Everybody was bumming me out because I couldn't make Oshkosh. All the paint stuff. It's been 109 degrees in Texas. It sucks. So I'm going to post a bunch of videos, a bunch of pictures, kind of like what I was doing. In the meantime, maybe another month we'll be flying, but let's go. I officially think painting isn't for me. I figured out what the problem was with that bubbling stuff, but this turned out good. Run. 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 A lot of run. I'm gonna block that off, paint it again. A little orange peel on this one, gonna hit it one more time. Run. Alright, I had one run in this thing, and while it was still kind of soft, I'll show a picture of what it looked like before, but the run is gone. Handed it down 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, then hit it with some cutter, polished it out. Oh man. This cowling is gonna kill me, but we are near the end. Got all the chrome latches. Had to paint the inside a different white. Stuff's expensive as hell, but it's more chemical resistant than the stuff I put on the outside. Stuff on the outside looks better, and it matches the paint better. Stuff on the inside, it's like firewall and landing gear, it's more of a pure white, even though it's all Matterhorn. But yeah. All right, working on the speed spat. See if I can find a picture of what it looked like before, but this side curves in was pretty much like that side, and it had a hole for oil and everything to get in it, and this kind of was like a big old bowl of this crud. So ended up pro sealing it on after fixing that little fiberglass part, painting it, pop riveting it on, and we're gonna have a pretty good looking pro seal fillet, if you may, all the way around it. The key to it is just making sure you got a really good mask job. So we'll see what it looks like when I pull it all the tape. All right, there's the final product. Not perfect, but old ELT antenna was right there. Or not ELT, transponder antenna, so we plugged that up. But yeah, it'll do its job. It'll seal it up, no more gunk can get in it. And I don't know, a little speed mod, because that's actually sealed. That's what this is a speed mod, is a ramp. But there we go. All right, now we're here live, doing the stripes. Trying to get the masking job and do something a little different on the front here. But she's looking pretty damn good. A little fast sitting here on jacks. You can see how the cowling prop came out. It's all polished up. Inside of the cowling, pure white. See any kind of oil drips. So I got to do the aileron stripe, left wingtip, stripes on that. And then we're going to work on the main landing gear. And then once that's done, or well, the wheel wells, I got to do some sheet metal repair, a little bit of paint. I say a little bit, it's going to kill me, but show you all the other little stuff hanging out in here. Rest of the parts all ready to be bolted on. A few more little parts in here, the speed mods, gear doors. Getting there. I have a consensus. Go back and look at the previous picture I just posted. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit and carry the stripes through like that to prevent all the chip paint when I'm taking the cowling on. So what do you think? Before? Mad respect to anybody that paints, because the hell with this. My OCD is kicking in, but it's pretty straight. The way I'm marking it, you have a point of reference from here to here, and then you get all your tick marks, and you take that piece of tape, put it on this side, mark down, everything's straight. I think the consensus is clear. It's kind of a pain. If you look at the front of the airplane, see the nose wheel, the engine's to the right. If you're sitting in the pilot seat, the airbox is that way. The whole nose wheel is set off. So the right hand side of the cowling is actually shorter than the left. So the stripes were a little difficult, but got them within a 1/16 of an inch, both sides. All right, now we're gonna hit the fine line tape right there. We'll throw some paper on it and maybe shoot it tomorrow. All right, from that to that. So I got all the fine line down. I'm gonna scuff it, 320 grit, wet sand it, then clean it, shoot it, done. Didn't quit after all, making a mess still. Wet sanded that down, got the whole aileron off, wet sanded that. Took the sheen off that. And finishing up this side. Something crazy about sanding fresh paint. All right, that's a wrap. Everything's scuffed, ready to be masked and painted. 2 days in the heat. I'm beat. If you follow along all the way to the end, I think you're a little crazy like me. And if you swiped up on the story, you're the MVP, because honestly, all that is kind of keeping me going because I'm going insane. This project is way longer than I ever anticipated, but getting close. Comanche update. Sometimes I feel like I just ramble, but cowling's off, ready to paint. Probably do that tomorrow. I got a new washer for the gear door. It's a little concave washer. $9 for that little thing, but it takes the slack out of the hinge point. What else? Aileron, wingtip. Made some new rods that hold the baffle. I don't know if these are original, but it looks like they were kind of homemade, but I don't know if you can see the stainless rod in there, but it basically connects the front baffle to the rear baffle, so that way when it expands, it doesn't push it out. Scat's all done, got that adjusted. This was kind of touching the bottom of the cow. Had to adjust a little bit of the tailpipes. Got all new band clamps. Those are kind of cool. Found those on Spruce. Normally when you tighten them down, the serration eats into whatever, but these have a little protective piece of metal underneath. So pretty cool. And finally, got the front baffle on. Shout out to Cranston, tag him here. Ended up redoing mine. Had to do a little sheet metal work. Originally had a generator with a vent and all that, plugged that up. Had a little chafe right here, fixed that. But man, does it look good. We put new felt on it, powder coated it all, even the back side. What else? I don't know, a little detail work of the engine, because everybody's been loving that. Got to detail this thing, get it all dusted and everything, especially the spinner. Don't look at that. And then the next time the cowling's on, we're gonna fly. So I'll just quit talking. All right, back in the machine shop, the old Bridgeport. I got some studs that hold the landing gear bungees to the main assembly, and that's what pivots. They look like crap, called Piper. They want $80 a pop for these. So I'm like, all right, it's a regular AN bolt, drilled head. So I got some bolts, and I was gonna turn them down in the lathe, but it was really hard to kind of chuck up the head and turn them down. So put my thinking cap on and said, you know what, let's build a tool. So I got a, where's my bar stock at? Got some bar stock, milled a, I guess, channel for both of these. And then we're gonna take the bolt, we can cut all four at the same time, get them to the same length. Once I clean that up, chuck that into the vise, chop off the top, so we got 4 bolts. So I'll stay tuned. Everybody likes a little mill video. Face this off so that way the vise is true. And then we'll get the cut and steel. The aluminum's like butter. Those are all trued up. The tram on this thing is atrocious, but it's also probably 80 years old, so yeah, next step. All right, here's the jig I made. You can see how it holds the bolts in right there, so they're all the same length. I was trying to find a damn collet for a saw blade. Couldn't get this one apart, so having to cut it down with the 1/2-inch end mill. See, there's a part of it right there, but make some shavings. There you have it. $5 worth of bolts, 2 hours of my time, all because they look prettier. The old Rockfords, I don't even think they've made those since the 50s. All right, back at the booth. Everything is prepped. A lot of paper, a lot of tape. Had to do the inside and out, just so I don't get any overspray on the pretty new inside white cowling. Crazy the amount of work for the little bit of paint we gotta shoot, but should be done here shortly. Tack it off, get the fan going, start shooting. Alright, second coat's down. A little heavier, a little orange peel. That's fine. It's a hard thing to learn, not to lay it down too heavy because it runs. I learned that lesson the hard way. Third coat's gonna be nice and glassy. Got a little bit of body work that I didn't finish out right there, so I don't know. I might sand that down and redo it. But once this is tacks off, when we're all done, pull the tape, let it dry for a few hours. We're gonna head to the junkyard, get some parts, and then shoot the red. All right, we're getting fine lines just so you guys can share the satisfaction with me. Got to do it fast. Ooh. Look at that crisp.
Crispy.
All right. All the tape's peeled. Chafe tape's gonna go right there, not gonna see that edge. Gonna let this harden up so I can put some paper over it, then shoot the red. Just turned out pretty decent. It's got a little bit of bubble in it at the top, but way better than if you remember what it looked like before. Nice and shiny, minimal orange peel. I'm excited.